Hello and a warm welcome to the Catch Up Corner. I am Trudy Zulu, and as always, we bring you nothing but inspiration. Today, we bring you founder of L360, Lindy Mtukayekwa, as well as the founder of Throne Magazine and Throne Agency, Caron Williams. You don't want to go anywhere, it's about to get lit. Hello, I am Triumph Mbiva. When we speak of trailblazers, women taking up spaces, and of course breaking glass ceilings, we speak of women such as Caron Williams. She is the founder and CEO of the Throne Magazine and Agency. That is our guest for today. Hey Caron, how are you?
Hi, thank you so much for having me today, and thank you for such a beautiful intro.
Thanks to you. Thanks for joining us.
I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you. Caron, I personally believe that before people buy our services and products, they buy into our stories of who we are. Can you please give us an insight to this woman who is the brand, the Throne itself?
I am from a small town called Polokwane. I grew up there. I lived there for the first 10 years of my life. And I mean, it's a small town, it's a small community. Everyone is so close-knit and so respectful. And then I moved to Cape Town when I was 10. It was a completely different environment. It's very vibrant. It's a bigger city. Absolutely. And there was such a fantastic and thriving creative economy and community there. And I think that's where I kind of discovered more of my creative side and my aspirations to venture into the media space, the media and advertising actually. And yeah, here I am now.
Has it always been your childhood ambition to be in the advertising industry, and how did your business start about?
Actually not, and I think it goes back to growing up in Polokwane where we weren't really exposed to the creative scene, and also being a young black woman in particular.
Exposure.
No, 100%. And also you're told when you grow up, oh no, you have to be a lawyer, you have to be an accountant, you have to be an engineer. And I think it comes from a place of obviously love and protection from our parents. They want us to have safe and stable careers, and the creative industry as just something completely different. So I did not know that I would end up in this career, but I think going back to me being in Cape Town and really finding my love for creative expression through music, through the arts, through writing, and that ultimately developed into my love for advertising and media. And I think more than anything, realizing there wasn't representation for just amazing, incredible black women, and ultimately wanting a space for women like us, and that culminated in the establishment of the Throne.
Did you study it professionally, advertising? Did you go to varsity and study it?
Absolutely not. I wanted to initially become a writer, and I think that's the area that I felt would be my door into the media industry as a whole and the creative industry. My dad was absolutely no ways. You're not going to go into
writer, really?
Exactly, So I ultimately studied psychology. I did my undergrad and BA psychology and sociology. And even though, it might not be a direct link to advertising or to marketing or to media, in retrospect, it has benefited me immensely. And I think that's one thing I feel for anyone, even if you studied finance, even if you studied law and you end up being a creative, I think there's so much use for your skill set and for, your degree. So as much as I didn't study it, psychology has been so beneficial to me and what I do, and understanding people, what they're passionate about, what motivates them, how to appeal to their passion points, studying what they consume, how they consume, why they stay a certain number of hours on Facebook versus a different platform. So the insights I've gained from my understanding from my degree has been incredible.
And please just tell us more about the Throne. We're speaking about how your psychology, is it psychologist or psychology?
Yeah, psychology degree.
Psychology. You were speaking about how it helped you in your own business. Please take us through the Throne Agency. What is it? How did it start?
Okay, cool. So essentially the Throne Agency and the Throne Publications were established just over 3 years ago. I had post-studying psychology and sociology. I worked in advertising for a number of years. So I worked from, PR companies to, some of the biggest advertising agencies in the country. And I worked predominantly in the social media and digital side. And I think from there, I realized there was just a gap in digital media consumption. I then decided to found the Throne, and essentially it's a leading online publication. We focus predominantly on Black women who are just incredible, who are content creators, influencers, digital entrepreneurs, and are just trailblazers, as you said. We do also have the agency, and the agency is focused on influencer marketing, influencer management, social media strategy, and social media marketing, as well as content production.
You mentioned that you worked for other companies, especially on the side of social media. I mean, someone said that the dream is free, but the hustle is all separate. How did you draw the courage to leave a secured paycheck and venture into the world of the unknown?
I actually think the experience that I gained from working in 9 to 5 was so essential. Company, and I know I see the narrative on Twitter a lot. You know, there's this idea of like, oh, if you what a 9 to 5 is. I forget the term correctly, but essentially it's a trap, you know, and that you know it's not, you're not following your dream or you're not fulfilling your true potential. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
There are skills and knowledge that you can only learn within an environment like a 9 to 5 and a corporate environment that are essential to running a business. One thing I do see from a lot of creatives as well is that they're brilliant at their craft, so brilliant, so creative, so amazing, but they don't understand the business and monetization of what they do, and I think that's what my grounding in advertising did for me.
In the Black community, a name has a deeper meaning. The Throne. How did that name come about?
So, I mean, it's twofold for me. The Throne was established on the 22nd of Feb, 2018. And my son, whose name is King, which obviously links to like royalty and, you know, the link to the name of the throne, he was born on the exact same day, on the 22nd of Feb last year. So for me, firstly, that's just, I think it's something that's bigger than a coincidence. And I think the second part of it is we speak so often about, you know, fighting for a seat at the table. And I think it's just, it doesn't always have a positive connotation. So for me, the idea of instead of fighting for a seat at someone else's table, can I create a table for myself and for other women like me? And going over and above just creating a table for ourselves is creating a throne where we are validated and affirmed, and, you know, just a space where we are welcome and embraced. And I really feel like that is the ethos of the throne, and what I hope will become the legacy that we leave for not just myself and not just for my kids, but for other young, incredible women out there as well.
Let's just hold it there for now. As you heard it, that we have to bring our own sets in the table. Create your own set if possible. Let us go to the air break, and when we come back, we give you more.